Well, hi again. How you doing? It's Matt Doxwell, and I'm a Proctor Gallagher consultant. Anyway, today I want to answer a couple of questions that I got. One was about when you set your goals and something comes up and you're not going to meet the time frame. Well, that's okay, because the time frame that you put down, the date that you're going to achieve that goal, it's something to shoot for, just like the goal is. It's actually not about achieving the goal, and it's really not about achieving the goal at a specific time. The time is to motivate you and to get you to move towards your goal. The goal, again, is something to shoot for, right? You know, if you shoot for the stars and you reach the sky, well, you're already way ahead of the game. And that's what it's so important. That's why one of the reasons why you're setting goals. And it's also to, again, we got to go back to thinking. Okay, you set goals so that it gets you to think, right? Because thinking, which is the conscious mind, and when you get emotionally involved, that puts it into the subconscious mind. That's where your emotions are. And that's where we really need to be to get things to go, because that's where your paradigms are. Now, just to make sure, a paradigm is just a mental program that controls almost all of your habitual behaviors. And almost all of your habitual behaviors, almost all your behaviors are habitual. So that's really something to understand. So you got to get in the subconscious mind. That's how you get to change the paradigm, which is controlling your habits. So setting the goal, and that's why you want to set something that you're excited about, something that scares you, something that you don't know how to do. It's going to get you to think about it. Thinking will then start, and getting emotionally involved, it will start to draw the answers to you, and the people to you, and the situations you need to achieve it. See, to the universe, there's no such thing as too big a goal, or too big a dream. I mean, think about it. The Wright brothers had a dream, right? To fly, to build a machine that could fly in the air. And people thought they were crazy. Remember, they were bicycle mechanics, right? So for them to say, well, I'm gonna build a machine that's gonna fly and take us all around the world, the planet, was ridiculous. But it started here, and it got them to think about it, and it started to bring ideas on how that could work. And it brought resources to them that they needed to make it happen. And so, I don't know if this is true, but if they had a time frame and they missed it by a few months, so what? You know, Jack Canfield talks about in The Secret, and I don't know if you guys have seen The Secret, but it's on Netflix, and everybody should be watching that. Watch that. So, in The Secret, Jack Campbell says, well, he set a goal to make $100,000 a year. And that time, I think he said he was making like $10,000 to $12,000 a year, or $15,000, whatever it was. But it was like, that just seemed impossible. He had no idea how to do it, not a single idea. So, but his mentor told him to do that, so he did it. And at the end of the year, he said he made like $93,000. And he said, do you think I was upset? There was no way, because I was making like $15,000 and I made $93,000, which is a heck of a lot better than what I was doing. So yeah, I didn't make the $100,000, but it's not about the goal. And a matter of fact, if you look at one of the posts I have today, I have a post, and let me tell you what it says. So it's when you I love this, because it says, when you dance, your purpose is not to get to a certain place on the floor, it's to enjoy each step along the way. And when you think of your goals, that's the same thing. It's not actually about getting to the goal, it's about enjoying the process, enjoying the trip, the ride. Matter of fact, I say enjoy the ride. Now, you're going to get thrown curveballs, guaranteed. You're going to have challenges. But let's flip them and say, instead of those being bad, those are actually good. That's how we grow. And we're all about growth. You're setting goals so you can grow, right? Remember, we're spiritual beings, and spirit is for growth and for ever expanding, for expansion. And we want to let the spirit flow in us and through us and then out. Now, so many of us are living with the sort of a kink in the hose. If you think of a water hose, and you know when you get that kink in it, the water stops flowing? Well, that's what we do. When we put that kink in there, we don't let the spirit flow through us. So you got to unkink that. And how do you do that? Again, through changing the way you think. We pay attention to the results only because it tells us what we're thinking. We don't try to change the results. We change the way we think. If you're experiencing things that you don't like, that you don't want in your life, then you have to look in the mirror and say, what is it that I'm thinking? What do I need to change in my thoughts? Right? Maybe my goal, and it's usually not at the goal, it's usually at the paradigm. It's in the subconscious mind. So how do we do that? Let's look at activities and say, what are we doing today? What are some of the activities that we're involved in that are unproductive towards reaching our goal? You know, do we watch 20 hours of TV? You know, if we are, then we need to replace that. You know, maybe watch 6 hours of TV, and then the other hours, let's find an activity that's going to be productive in reaching our goal. Whether it's making phone calls or networking or reading or getting involved in thinking into results, right? Getting into these programs that'll help to change the way you think, to help change your paradigms, to help you get crystal clear on what it is that you want. These are the things that you have to do. So when you're looking at these challenges that come up, you should enjoy them actually. Say, wow, this is awesome because I'm going to grow through this. I'm going to figure this out. And when I do, I'm going to be that much stronger. I'm going to be that much better. That's what I do now. And I have things continuously coming up that, you know, they throw a monkey wrench into your plans. And so I had a goal hitting at the end of June, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to make it or not. That's really not what's important. What's important is that I'm making progress towards it. Because if it happens in July, do you think I'm going to be upset? No way. No way. Because what I'm shooting for is big. And it's exciting to me. I am on a mission to help people. I'm on a mission to help you change your life for the better. Because I know how it's changed my life for the better and is continuing to get better and better. I'm nowhere near where I want to be. And I'm nowhere near as good as I'm going to get. Because I'll be studying this material for the rest of my life. And I suggest you study this material for the rest of your life. Really make it a study. There are books. Think and Grow Rich. Get that book. Study it. Read a chapter for 30 days. That's also a great lesson in persistence. You read a chapter a day, right? So you read chapter 1 for 30 days every day. The whole chapter every day for 30 days. And if you miss a day, you start over. Do that. You'll really learn and you'll really absorb what's in that great book. You know, years ago when I read it, I guess I really didn't understand how great a book that was. I mean, think about it, right? You know, Think and Grow Rich. Yeah, okay, thanks. That's helpful. Think and Grow Rich. That sounded ridiculous to me when I heard the title of the book. And I read it. It's a great book, but I was a lot younger then and probably didn't really appreciate it all. I wish I had made a study of it back then. But like so many of us, I wanted to read a lot of books. And so, you know, you heard the saying, you know, how's the saying go? It's sort of like, you you become a master of none, right? A jack of all trades and a master of none. A jack of all books and a master of none of the books. It's better to find a really good book like Think and Grow Rich, or Bob Proctor's book, Born Rich. You know, we were all born rich. We're rich with potential. there's not one person that has more potential than another. It's really about us putting it into use, into practice. And that's why we call it practice, because you have to keep doing it over and over again. Right, over and over. So let's go back to these habits. Look at your habits. Look at what you're doing on a daily basis. And anything that's not productive, and so you're going to write it down, non-productive behaviors. And then you're going to replace each one with a productive behavior, something that'll move you toward your goal. So important to do this, and you have to write it down. Remember, writing causes you to think. Thinking creates an image, right, which then makes you feel about it. You want to get your feelings involved, so your emotions. Then that goes into the body where you get your actions, and the actions then get results. Right? Now, actions, of course, always get reactions from the universe, and then you're in the middle of the results. So if you think about it, you have your actions, the reactions, and here are your results. So we look at the results, but we look at them because the results just tell us where our mind was or is, and then we know we have to change things. And it's a process. It's a process. You get better and better. Think about, I know for me, my analogy goes back to sports. I never started a sport that I was a superstar in. But I just practiced and practiced and practiced. I practiced probably as hard, if not harder, than anybody else. And I became really good at every sport that I played in because I put in the time and practice. You know, we get accolades for what we do in public for the practice we do in private. And it's the same thing here. You have to spend time reading, watching videos. There's so much content out now on the internet. You know, then there are programs, coaches. I'm a coach and a consultant. I help people, I coach people to get clear on what it is they want, how to identify the non-productive behaviors or habits, how to change those to replace them with productive ones. Because remember, if you get rid of a habit, then something else is going to take its place, and you don't want a negative one to jump in there. You want to replace it with a positive one. Right? As a personal trainer, I am a National Academy of Sports Medicine master trainer, and so I help people, and I still continue to help people get into shape, to lose or shed pounds, right? And you do that by helping people get clear on what it is they want, why they want it, get a real clear vision of how they want to look and how they want to feel, and then guide them through and tell them how to do it. And I tell them and show them. And that's what you guys can do. We all have the same possibilities. We're born with opportunities. Right? Now, let's face it, in the world, it's not equal opportunity, and it never will be. If you're born to a wealthy family, you have more advantages, but so what? It doesn't really matter. What matters is what you do about your situations, right? You look at the situation, but then you have to, again, remember, focus on the solution. Look at that, say, this is where it is, but this is not where I have to focus on where I want to go. Where is it that I want to be? And that's, again, goes back to goals. What are my goals? What are the things that I'm doing getting me towards that goal or not? Going out and drinking with your friends, is that getting you closer to your goals? And that doesn't mean you don't do it. You know, you still go out with your friends, but maybe it's on a Friday night or a Saturday night. And during the week you're studying. You're exercising, both your mind and body. I mean, you don't go to the gym. If I went to the gym once and worked out, and then went and met you and said, hey, I worked out today, so now I'm fit and healthy and I never have to do it again, you'd go, Matt, you're crazy. What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. That's ridiculous. You have to go for the rest of your life and do that. It's the same thing with training the mind, right? You got to keep doing it every day. Every day. You know, I mean, I did a Facebook Live about 3 things to do daily to make a quantum leap in your life. How many people are even doing that? How many of you sit down and really have that vision and visualize seeing yourself as you want to be, as the person you want to become. So then you internalize it and then you start being that. How many of you have the goal cards in your pockets? You know, I did a talk at a company and they took the goal cards. I bet you if I went back, I bet you not one person wrote down their goal. And if they did, I bet you they don't carry it in their pocket. And then next year, and then at the end of this year, they're going to look and say, I don't understand why I made the same amount of money. Or my life is the same, or maybe it's got, remember, we're never staying the same. You're either growing or you're disintegrating. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. Nothing stays the same. Nothing. So you always have to keep going. Now what happens when you get these curveballs, you have to, that's why you have to have that strong goal. And I can't stress it enough. I know I keep repeating myself because I want you guys to get it. If I didn't have such strong, solid goals that I think about every day, all day long, when I get thrown curveballs, I would just give up. It's too hard. Forget it. It's not worth it. I'm comfortable where I am. I'll stay where I am. You know. And that's not real life. There's no passion in that. You want to live your passion. And you can get it. See, that's the thing. We all can get exactly what we want. There's nothing too big for the universe. There's nothing too big for God. So take the time and study. Take the time and go. You can go on YouTube. There's tons of video. There's tons of content on the internet. And for those of you, hire a coach. Hire a coach. Find a mentor. Whatever it is you want to do. If there's someone already doing it, then seek them out and ask them for guidance. Say, will you mentor me? Even if we talk once a month, guide me, help me. People want to help. And you'll find someone. Will everyone? No, probably not, but you'll find somebody who's doing what you're doing already, what you want to do, and you can follow what they do. Success leaves clues. It absolutely leaves clues, so you can do it. When I started as a full-time trainer, I looked around. Who's successful at it? And then I would pick their brains. And I would get information and pull it all together. And that's what you guys can do too. It's really not complicated, but it starts with thoughts, and then putting in those thoughts that seep into the subconscious by putting emotion into it, getting emotionally involved. You have to get emotionally involved in your goals. Once you do that, you'll start to see come out through actions. And then again, actions get results. I hope you'll start to get this. Because this stuff is just vital and crucial. And I know you guys can do it. You have all the potential in the world. You have the same potential as me and everybody else. Jeff Bezos, who's now the richest man in the world, had no more potential than any one of us. He just went out there and did it. And in fact, I'm not even sure, I never read anything or heard what he said, but where he is today, I don't know that he envisioned that even. See, we tend to wind up going way past our goals. Because no matter how big we think our goals are, again, for the universe, they're tiny. They're tiny. So, to recap on my friend Craig's question, because he's the one who asked me about time frame and what do you do if you're going to miss the time frame. That's okay, then just make another time frame. You could push it out. You know, it's not again, it's the journey, not the destination. That's just to push you forward, to motivate you, to put some urgency on it. If you don't put a date, then there's no urgency and it's ho-hum. I could do it tomorrow, right? But if there's a date, it tends to put some urgency and make you move towards it faster. That's what you want to do. That's what the date said. If you're not going to make it, you could push it out a month, 2 months, whatever it is. Because again, that is not the most important part. And curveballs are awesome. Challenges are amazing. Life would be boring without them, first of all. And secondly, that's really, again, how you grow, right? Trees, think about this. Trees that grow indoors without the wind are not anywhere near as strong as trees that grow outside that have to deal with wind, because they have to get stronger. They have to fight against the wind. And that's how we are. So we get these challenges that come in because you have to prove that you deserve this. Right? If you're not willing to fight through these challenges and to learn from them, remember, you'll keep going through it until you grow through it. So you got to grow through these challenges, and when you do, you're better for it. And then you start to welcome them because you say, I know how to deal with it. I just focus on where I'm going. Just focus on where I'm going, like a laser. Like a laser, and you do that by getting emotionally involved. The more emotionally involved you are in it, the easier it is to stay on course. And the results, right? We look at the results because that's our course correction, right? We look, oh, I'm off course, get back on. Oh, I'm not getting what I want there, get back on course. And you keep doing that. And if you think about it, when you're flying in a plane, that's what an airplane does. It's constantly off course, and they constantly course correct to get us to where we're going. Same thing with a ship. So don't be too concerned about time frame. Just keep focused on your goals. Spend the time in a room quiet, concentrating on it, getting emotionally involved. The more emotionally involved, so you got to say why you want this goal. Why is this goal important to me? And then see it. You know, I told you, like, one of my goals is to have a 6-bedroom, 8-bedroom house. So I picture that, and I picture family coming over, visiting, staying for holidays, going in the backyard with the pool, and we're all hanging out, having fun, having friends over, and just having a blast. And so that helps me to get emotionally involved in it. It's like I feel how I would feel having that, and then those feelings are real right now. And having that financial freedom, making whatever it is that I want to make, to do whatever I want to do. And making a lot of money, I was thinking about yesterday, I was watching Celebrity Undercover Boss, and Gabby Douglas was on there, and she was going around to these gyms, which for gymnastics. And some of them, yeah, I mean, the parents were working so hard to pay for their kids to do it because it's an expensive sport. And then she went to this one gym where this couple was literally, you know, buying used equipment. They were servicing a lower income area, keeping the rates to as low as possible so they could just get by. And the guy was traveling, I don't know, thousands of miles to buy equipment, used equipment, and bring it back, and just doing the best they possibly could. And I was thinking, wow, wouldn't it be nice if I was worth a few $1 billion, and I could just go to these places and say, here you go. Here's $1 million. Here's $1 million for your mission. Get all brand new equipment. Let's get the gym the way it's supposed to be. Let's get scholarships for these kids to go to help the parents. I mean, this one couple, the father, I think he said he was an EMT, and he was working, you know, overtime and to pay, and doing fundraisers and all stuff to try to pay for his daughter. She wants to go to Olympics. And then there was this a woman with her son, and he's really good, at least according to Gabby Douglas. What do I know about the gymnastics? Although, you know, I just know that they're in great shape. And but the point is, you know, she didn't have a car. She had to rent a car because her car wasn't reliable enough. And that would be nice to have, for me to be able to make, if I was making enough money at this moment, you know, I'm on my way, and I will get there, to be able to go and then help them. I mean, wouldn't you like to do that? That's the point of money, right? There's two things you can do with money. Is one, be comfortable, so you get to do what you want, when you want, how you want, and you get to help other people that you may not be able to help personally with your time, but you can certainly give money to them to help them out. And there are so many causes out there that we all could and should be involved in. There's only so much you can do on a personal level. That's why having a lot of money is so great. It's not to hoard it, not to have the big boat, but it's all the good you can do with it. You can do a lot of good. And so, just to wrap this up, again, I'll say it every time I'm on, set your goals, get those big goals, those seek type goals, goals that you don't know how to achieve, but the fun is in figuring it out. And it is fun once you get used to it. It really becomes fun. And going after it, enjoying the ride along the way, right? As we say, stop to smell the roses. And then once so you do that, get it in the subconscious mind, really get involved in it, get emotionally involved, so you just love that goal. You love it. You got to do it. Like, it's just your driving force. And I'm sure if you know, I've met people besides myself that when they have that driving force, you just want to be around them, right? It's just wonderful to see and to watch. So do those things. Set the time frame, right? Because you want to put some urgency. But if you can move it, and you can change your goals at any time. Anyway, guys, have a great weekend. I'm off to Toronto this week for consultants get together, and I'll be probably broadcasting my next week's at 11 o'clock from Toronto, Canada. So I hope you all come on and watch. Anyway, again, make sure you click the like button. Please click the like button and leave comments and tell me what it is you want to see. Ask questions and I'll answer them back in the comments area, and then maybe when I go on live. All right? Thank you all and have a wonderful week.